Hello, children, and adults who behave like children. Another podcast from Uncle Tiger Moto. Today's podcast is about one of your favorite things, sweets and sugar. We all love sweets. Without sweets, you cannot have a childhood. If you are not given enough sweets, in the US, you can sue your parents for having a deprived childhood. In other parts of the world, if your parents cannot afford sweets, stealing might be a riskier option. As you sit down for dinner and enjoy your sweet dish, or sweets, let me give you a short history of sugar and all things not very nice. The history of sugar is the history of slavery. 500 years of colonialism and racial inequality binds Africa, the Americas, and Europe. This unholy alliance is responsible for many problems of the world today. Around the 16th century, European sugar consumption was very low, around 87 grams per person. By the 18th century, it had risen to 9 kilograms per person. Today, it is over 40 kilograms per person. In the 19th century, total production of sugar was around 6 million tons. By the 20th century, 190 million tons was being produced annually. From the 13th century onward, sugar has been traded on the world stock markets as a commodity, as it is today. In the past, sugar was a luxury item which only the rich could afford, used as medicine and as a spice. The Portuguese navigators in the 15th century were looking for gold and silver and found sugar. They hit the jackpot for sugar production with the confiscation of the island of Madeira, which today is a popular holiday destination. These two islands off the African coast became a sugar plantation and vast wealth for Portugal. This island should be given back to the rightful owners and they should be compensated. The slaves were used to plant, harvest, and boil the cane sugar. Capital and slaves exported to the island of Hispaniola, confiscated by Columbus. Today, this island is called Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Today, the sugar industry is still dominant. Some 200,000 Haitians work on the sugar plantations in the Dominican Republic. Their wages are very low, just enough to cover their food bill. The subjugation of Brazil has led to deforestation and the local Indians replaced by the slaves. Over 12 million slaves were transported from Africa. Around 50% worked on sugar plantations. By the 16th century, people, sugar, and Europe became globalized. Amsterdam became the financial capital of the world, providing capital for refining and 50% trade in refined sugar. Sugar production created modern capitalism. Sugar became white gold. The main colonial countries involved in the sugar industries were UK, France, Portugal, Holland, and to a lesser extent Spain. Spain lost its Caribbean islands. Haiti became French and a sugar plantation, the world's largest producer at the time. The plantation was 70% owned by one company. Racism, exploitation, and lack of dignity or independence for the slaves. Vast wealth was accumulated by the sugar barons. With this exploitation were linked ships, banks, insurance, and people as investors in this colonial enterprise of slavery and sugar. By the 18th century, capital made from sugar propelled the Industrial Revolution. Factories relied on migration of farm labourers to the cities. Sugar became a cheap energy fuel for the working masses. Tea and sugar became a very popular drink. By the 18th century, it was peak sugar production. The slave revolt in Haiti by 450,000 slaves, Haiti became the first independent slave colony. Napoleon defeated the free colony of Haiti and moved sugar production to the US and Cuba. Napoleon sold Louisiana to the US for $15 million. Slavery expanded in the US. The UK abolished slavery in 1807. The Spanish who controlled Cuba employed 5 million slaves. By 1886, Spain abolished slavery. The reason for abolition of slavery was it was no longer profitable. Rise of industry and sugar beet in Europe. The cane sugar empire in the 19th century supplied 50% of the world's sugar. As sugar beet replaced sugar cane in Europe, the slave owners were compensated but not the slaves. France gave 150 million gold coins to the slave owners. This money was borrowed from the banks with a high interest, in today's term $20 to $40 billion. Haiti was forced to pay and compensate the slave owners with money borrowed from French banks. This debt is mainly responsible for the poverty in Haiti today. The island of Mauritius near India became a sugar plantation. Indian and Chinese coolies, indentured labourers employed for 3 to 5 years on minimum wage. The UK created a new type of slavery, the indentured labourer. These indentured labourers had no more freedom than slaves of the past, many in rising debt and locked into 20 years of hard labour. Some of 750,000 Chinese and 2 million Indians were indentured workers on these sugar plantations. In the 20th century, the US came to dominate the sugar industry. Tin foods and sugar in everything. US plantation owners had their own armies. The island of Hawaii became a sugar plantation, labeled for the people as part of the US sugar empire. Today, Brazil is using sugarcane production to produce ethanol for fuel. Brazil is responsible for 14% of the world's sugar production, most of which goes into ethanol production. As you digest this podcast, I hope it leaves a bittersweet taste in your mouth. To summarize, 12 to 15 million slaves transported, 2 million died in transit. This is one of the greatest crimes in human history. Only wars, famines, and disease has killed more people.